Oh,
All right, y'all. Michael Lee, Backwoods Life Podcast, episode 127. I've learned how to count, and it took me 127 episodes, and now I actually know how to count what episode we're on. I've done it really good for like 3 weeks in a row. So that's very impressive on my end. Yay, everybody clap for me. But I've got an awesome guest here for me today, with me today, Miss Paige Bauer. Thank you for taking time to be here. I know you and I have followed each other for a while. We've messaged back and forth, and I I don't know. I kind of feel I'm jealous a little bit because I wanted to be your first podcast that you did, but I know you've already done a couple now under your belt. But maybe that's good. Maybe we're hitting the groove now.
I haven't gotten any better. I'm still a clown, so honestly, I don't know what to say about that.
It's like I
But yeah,
don't know
you
what
were supposed to be my first. I feel bad about that too.
it's okay. Like I'm not mad about it, but I have listened to the other podcasts you were on. So my goal on this podcast is not to ask you the same questions that everybody else asks you.
I
Like,
was worried about that. I
yeah,
was gonna have to tell my story again and again and
again,
again.
and there's nothing wrong with telling your story. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? But at the same time, I don't want to be like cookie cutter Groundhog Day. Like we're here to change the game a little bit. Do a little something different. I mean, that's what Backwoods Life podcast is about. You and I have been talking for I don't even know how long before we hit record right here, and
Mhm.
yeah, we decided that we're just going to do something different. We're just going to talk about whatever we want to. I've got a few things that will kind of get the direction going, but we've already had success on that before we even hit record.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, throw it at me.
Throw it, throw it. Well, first off, again, thank you for taking some time hopping on here. Um, we talked about your brand already,
I love
but
it.
you kicked off the brand this year,
I did.
26. And
Yeah.
the first drop was the Gobbler Grind, right?
Yeah, somewhere in the hat right now. Actually,
Mhm.
there's like two of these left. So
Okay.
that was really, really cool to start off with the turkey stuff. But I dropped it 2 weeks before the season ended,
Mhm.
which probably wasn't the best time, but people love it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, and that's the first when I saw like when you dropped it, 'cause, I mean you hinted around about it and stuff, and then when I saw it drop, I was like, "Yep, she got a good one right there. Like that's good. I like the design of the hat, the whole style of it, and you know going after that Grand Slam this year, right?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Very surprised. This is only like my third turkey season,
Mhm.
so I felt like it was a big goal for me to reach. But I went to Florida, Texas. Now I'm probably not going to remember all these. Florida, Texas, Kentucky, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Michigan.
Okay.
I think that was 6 states.
Mhm.
So I got my four birds, and it was the best turkey season that I ever had. It was pretty crazy. Had one bird get away and then we found him, which is
Hmm.
wild.
Yeah.
But I got my slam and I actually ended up getting a Rio and a Merriam in the same state.
Nice, nice, nice.
So
And there's not many
yeah,
places you can do that. Just FYI, like
yeah.
there's only um. And,
I know
and
haters are gonna say that my Merriam's was a hybrid,
of course they
but
are.
it really doesn't matter because it had white on them.
It doesn't matter.
And you
It
can't
don't
find them in Alabama. So
matter. Not even at the grocery store. That's what I'm saying. But
exactly.
but and that's the thing. Like people don't realize that well, one just to pull that off in one season. I mean, and I'm not bragging myself, but I mean I've done it a few times, but just because I've been doing it forever. But with that being said, you have to plan it out. It's not just something you can wake up tomorrow and go, oh, you know what? I think I'm just going to go kill my Grand Slam this year, this turkey season. I'm just going to run around, shoot some turkeys. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it that way because there's a lot of public land, but it does make it a lot harder if you don't have a plan going into it. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of dedication too, because just because you go to Florida, for example, doesn't mean you're going to kill a turkey. So
Florida is
one,
hard too, normally.
yeah, Florida's well, it depends on where you go, but for the most part, they're kind of like our old stubborn Easterns down here in the Southeast. And you being from Alabama,
I
definitely, or
understand.
living in Alabama, you definitely know that these are the most hard-hitted turkeys on the planet.
Yeah, they definitely are. I still haven't gotten one in Alabama, by the way.
I've hunted Alabama quite a few times, and since I've been turkey hunting, and I have killed two turkeys in Alabama.
Where
So
at? Can you say?
I killed one North Alabama, literally right across the Georgia line into Alabama, and then I killed one just near Lake Eufaula in Alabama,
Okay.
right
So
there. Here, I
north
put it.
and then south, I want to say. Lake Eufaula is probably south.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the middle of the state I mean, just right on the Georgia line. That's where Lake Eufaula is at. Like where it's Columbus, Opelika, Auburn. It's kind of all right in. right in that area, and Eufaula is like south of that.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, um, I had a good buddy of mine. He had a farm there, and it was just loaded with turkeys. And it was during COVID actually, and he's just like, "Hey man, let's go turkey hunting." And you know, nobody's on the road, so we're like, "Let's go, get out there." And I mean, we killed. Um, he killed two, I killed one. We killed. He killed a triple beard and a single beard, and I killed a double beard, all in the
Nice.
same 2 days. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna write this one down as a good trip.
Yeah. So I know who I'm calling when the season starts.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
I mean, turkeys are turkeys, I'd kill all of them.
Yeah. I would love to do the 49. I'm not going to be crazy about it and try and do 13 states in a season because I
Yeah,
feel like I would be wore out, but I definitely would like a deer and a turkey in every state that has them.
that
I
would
think
be
that's
cool. Yeah.
pretty
I've got about half of them, but it's just at the point with me, like some of those states, I've got some buddies that are doing that, and like some of the states are really, really, really hard. Like they have gone for a week and heard and seen one turkey, and
cool.
I'm just like, man, you know what? I like to kill these things. I don't want to like kill myself trying to hunt them. So I don't know.
I mean,
Okay.
that's how every season is, though. You hunt a
Yeah,
couple different states. It's
yeah.
not always on the first day. You
Yeah,
got to
but see,
actually.
my bad problem is I got some places that I really like to go because it's almost like guaranteed you're going to be in the middle of them, and I don't want to deviate too much from. I want to. I'll fill in like maybe one state here or there, but I can't do like four different states, four
No?
new states in the spring, just because I'm like, turkey season's so short. Man, I got to do Florida and Georgia and Texas, and
Yeah.
Kentucky just about every year because I mean, like I mean, you can just murder them.
Lucky you. Yeah, I go
Yeah,
to Kentucky every year for deer.
yeah.
And so now I'm going to try turkey every year over there. But I actually shot at a longbeard in Kentucky this year. And there's actually two or three, I think it was two that were coming in. And I hit a branch.
Mm,
So it
yeah.
busted my whatever you want to call it, and
Your pattern was screwed.
my pattern, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got away, and I feel like that's just a common denominator in all my hunts. Like an animal is getting away, and then we searched for him like a deer, and
Yeah.
he was nowhere to be found. So that was just a crappy shot, and that thing, that happens,
Mm.
but that's
No,
okay.
I can't say I've never had that happen myself too. Trust me, I've,
It happens.
yeah, I mean, I've hit stuff and missed stuff. And the fun one was one time I came back from South Dakota and Delta destroyed my gun case on the way up there. Like literally when I got to South Dakota, it's in pieces. When they roll it out, it's like held together by tape. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. So
They taped it.
yeah, like it was broken so bad that the sides of the gun case would not go back together. I don't know if they ran over it or what. It was terrible. And
I would, I
well,
don't know what I would do, but it would not be good.
Delta bought me a new gun case, so I will give a shout out for the making it right. But still, I had to go hunting, and I'm out there in South Dakota, and the first morning a turkey comes in, and he's like 15 yards, and I shoot. I mean, I killed the turkey, but I was like, man, something didn't feel right. Like I should have at 15 yards, I should just made his head almost go away.
Right.
And it just like it kind of clipped him and killed him. I was like, maybe that was me. Well, I fly back home. I drive to Kentucky, and I'm up there with my buddy Ryan, and we have this bird screaming off the roost. He comes in, he comes right to the decoy, and I'm like, all right, you got it. He's like, yep, deer turkey's just standing right there, fixing to jump all over the decoy. I shoot, and I just clean missing, like at 20 yards. I'm like, what in the crap? And the turkey starts flying, and I shoot him flying at about 40 yards, and he just piles up, out there. But I go back and my barrel, I look down the rib of my barrel because I didn't have a turkey scope on or nothing like that then. And I look down the barrel and like the rib is bent. Like, so my bead is out of line on my barrel. That's how bad they messed up my gun. And I
That's
sent, I mean, long story short, I called the manufacturer. I said, hey, this is what's up. And I sent on the barrel and they sent me a new barrel for it. And they said, yeah, you're right. You bent your barrel. So anyway,
That's insane. I had a red dot on one of my guns on my 20 gauge, and it was smashed when I opened my gun case. I think I was on the way to Michigan. When I got there, I saw it, and that's how I kind of got into the 410.
hmm
Didn't have, I mean, I couldn't use it. I guess maybe we could have taken the red dot off of it, but
hmm
I'm back and forth between whether or not I want to use a red dot on my new gun or not.
I was one for a long, long time. Like I just wanted to look down the rib of the barrel and just put the bead on the turkey's neck and turn it loose and just do my thing that way. And then like we work with Hawk Optics, so shameless plug for them, but they came out with the turkey scope. That's what they call it. And it's a 1 to 4 power scope. And they called me up and they're like, man, we know that you don't like to use scopes on your turkey gun, blah, 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 blah. Just try this one. And I was like, okay, guys, I'll do it. And I got that thing. And now I'm sitting there and that turkey might be at 50 yards. And when I dial that thing to 4, it looks like he's about 20. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to shoot him right there. And at 50 yards, it just piles up. So I kind of converted just from that. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool to see it happen that way. So I don't know.
I I couldn't even imagine using a scope for a turkey.
I, it
I mean,
took
I
me a
guess that'd
minute.
be pretty cool.
It's
I guess I
different.
use the scope for my deer because I know we're gonna have the crossbow conversation.
For all the haters out there, heads up, it's
All the
coming.
haters out there,
Yeah.
you'll never hear a podcast of me without talking about the crossbow. Gotta wait for the right moment to talk about it.
Well, and that's the thing, well, we might as well jump right in. So I did a podcast and it's going to roll out tomorrow. Um, Basically talking about all the hate on social media, and crossbows is definitely one of the things that people love to hate on.
Oh
But
yeah.
at the end of the day, and again, going back, you and I following each other for a while, I've seen people say stuff about the crossbow, and you're like, I don't care. Hate on my crossbow if you want to. That's what I'm going to hunt with.
I think that I'm always saying this, but there's some kind of a stigma against people using crossbows that are physically able to potentially shoot something else.
Hmm.
Um, I've never used a compound before, so I don't know much about it. But with me getting so much hate, it's kind of forced me to want to continue to use my crossbow because I don't mind it.
Hmm.
I still have to put in just as much effort as a compound bow hunter.
Right.
Don't I guess that may be an uneducated opinion only because I've never, tried to shoot one before. So I've never
Yeah.
even looked through, is it called the sight or scope or whatever it is
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still using my rangefinder. I'm still loading an arrow.
Hmm.
I'm still essentially, I'm close to the animal because I'm no more than 25, 30 yards
Hmm.
on a good day.
And I'm not to interrupt you, but that's admirable because there's a lot of people with crossbows that think, oh, I can hit a target at 100 yards, so I'm going to shoot a deer at 100 yards with a crossbow. Like, that's just
I
ignorance.
absolutely never. I would not like to take any shots any further than I would say 35. And that's because my vision is not very good. But at the same time, bow hunting is supposed to be about getting in tight with them.
Hmm.
So I feel like when you're at anything beyond, let's just call it 40, at that point, especially deer hunting, half the time you're in the woods,
Hmm.
no reason to go that far out
Yeah.
beyond that. How do you even know you're making a good shot with all the leaves and trees and everything involved? I don't know. I would never do it. I do know that my bow will shoot 100 yards and it has practiced at 100 yards in a field just for fun.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to shoot 100 yards, I'm going to have my 308.
There you go.
Like,
There you go. Well, also the thing with it is just because you can do this doesn't mean it should do this. But also when you practice at 100 yards, it just makes that 20, 30 yard shot that much easier.
exactly.
And that's what people, same thing with a compound bow. I mean, see all these dead things on the wall behind me. Like a lot of them are bow kills, but it's one of those that, I've done it all and I've got a couple bucks right here. And I killed one of my biggest deer I ever killed with a crossbow. Why? Because I wanted to. It wasn't because, oh, I mean, I did have a bad shoulder for a little while, did mess it up playing sports and weightlifting and stuff. But I mean, it bothered me one deer season and I got over that and I went back to, compound bow hunting. But I also was like, I kind of dig this crossbow thing too. It's just really fun. When you put it down that way, it's having fun. And to me, that's what hunting's about. It's going and having fun. And I don't really care what anybody says I do wrong. I just
Yeah.
have fun, you know?
Does it always have to be about what you're using, or can it just be about, you know what, winds look good? I think I want to go out and hunt
Mhm.
tonight. I
Yeah.
don't feel like it needs to be this back and forth debate, which I find myself on the internet seeing so much lately about, okay, well, you need to be building character, you need to be using compound, and you need to build that skill. There's no
Mhm.
reason why you can't. with me being newer to hunting, I feel like people are probably going to say that that's a crutch, but I don't feel that it is. I want to get very good at just hunting in general by myself
Hmm.
before I take on anything else. I'm still newer to public land in general. I'm
Hmm.
newer to using an app, just all of that. I'm still
Hmm.
learning how to read maps. So for me to take on that, plus I want to get into a saddle, it's just a lot of moving parts. And
Yeah.
when I'm ready to do it, I will do that.
Yeah. And I admired that. That's probably one of the most true things that anybody can take away from what you just said is what I'm ready to do that. I'm going to do that. Not I'm not going to do it because you're telling me that that's what I'm supposed to do. That's too many people I see it in just the industry or even some friends of mine, and I'll call them out on it. Like, well, I'm not going to shoot that deer because he's not like 160 or 170, or I'm not going to do this because blah blah blah, or they're just afraid somebody's going to give them a hard time, and who cares? I mean, to me, I've got plenty of deer that I've shot that I mean most people would probably not just because they're like, oh, that deer's only 120 or 130. Well, I don't care. I had fun doing it, and
And it gets your
that
heart racing, then do it.
exactly. I had fun doing it. And you never know. I mean, you start making fun of people's trophies and I hope people out there will still do what they want to do and not care. But even if it does bother you that people call you and not call you out, but like give you a hard time because, okay, that deer may not have been what they would shoot. Who cares? And if you don't want to post anymore, that's one thing, but don't change what you're doing because of other people.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope that nobody that follows me is thinking stop shooting small deer because not that I think that any of my deer are small other than maybe one or two of them, but it may happen again to their standard,
Yes.
If a small deer to them is a 130, then don't watch my channel because if it gets my heart racing, I'm going to do it. I
Fact.
enjoy hunting. I enjoy filming my hunts. And to me, I am making sure that the deer is big enough for me. It's
Mhm.
not to make sure it's big enough for my channel.
Right.
And I do kind of feel like I see that too, where people are not going to shoot a deer because the camera's off, or they're not going to shoot a deer because it may not be big enough or bigger than the last one that they had on their channel. And I have plenty of videos where I shot the deer and the camera wasn't on, and
Mhm.
that happens. But as far as the size of the deer goes, it's whatever gets me excited. So
Exactly. And that's what it should be for everybody. I mean, if you're getting excited and that's what you want to do and it's legal and you got a tag, then knock it down if that's what you want to do. Same with me. I've kind of I mean, I've been everybody goes through kind of this like cycle as a hunter and I didn't really believe into this when I first heard it until I've kind of gone through it myself. The first thing you do is just want to see deer, period. Then next
mhm.
thing you want to shoot a deer and then you want to shoot, you want to figure your limit or whatever, and then you want to shoot the biggest one. 'Cause I'm hunting nothing but big deer, and then it kind of goes back to now I just want to do whatever. I don't. I mean, I want to take somebody else. I want to sit with somebody. I want to let somebody else enjoy being out there and through the same cycle as me. Um, been blessed enough myself to go all over the place and do a lot of things I never thought I would ever get to do. But at the end of the day, I'm all about like the hunting camp vibe now. Like I don't,
Love
I
that.
could sit in a hunting camp for 3 or 4 days and just hunt a little bit and not care. Let everybody else just have a good time.
I am a little bit shy when it comes to hunting camp groups because I've been to a lot of outfitters. It's how I kind of got started with hunting. I didn't have anyone taking me, so I was going to a lot of outfitters. Still do go to them sometimes.
Mhm.
So I can be a little shy. I do enjoy the group vibes. I like talking to the old time hunters that can tell so many stories and they don't even ask about mine, and that's okay. I just want to hear the cool stuff that they've done and saw, and it's just amazing to hear that. But right now, as far as deer go, I am enjoying going from, I mean, I can't really talk in terms of size,
Mhm.
but they are a little bigger every year. And
Mhm.
so instead of being put in the woods at 5 years old and, Papa or whoever lets you shoot a 160 and then you can't go bigger than that the rest of your life because you're never going to top it. It's
Right.
been pretty cool to start in my 30s and move up just a little bit every single year,
Mhm.
and then hunting with the same people that are kind of helping out with that. They're helping me advance every year too.
Right.
Not that shooting bigger deer is really advancing, it's really just getting lucky,
I,
and
I agree. And, and, and,
they walk
and
out, they walk out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, not knocking anybody out there, but if we, you and I both in the same boat, if we had the right land, we could kill big deer every year too, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. It's just, I'm not saying they
One of
don't
the
have.
right people at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's not like, the people out there that kill 200-inch deer every year. I mean, that's awesome. I'm proud of them. I'm happy for them. I just don't have a 200-inch deer to hunt. I'm just shooting what George
I just don't
deer.
have
Or,
the money for the lease.
yeah.
If I did, I'd be right there with them.
Well, that's my whole point is like if we had land, that would be a different story. But anybody, you can only shoot what is on your property. That's period. I mean, that's what I tell everybody all the time. You can come hunt with me. I can't guarantee you. I mean, I guarantee you you'll see some deer. I guarantee you'll probably see some bucks. I can't guarantee you're going to kill a giant buck, but we're going to have a good time trying,
Right,
and
right.
that's, I mean, like my thing down here is I have more 8 points than you could ever. I mean, you don't have enough tags to shoot all the 8 points that we have, and they're anywhere from young 8 points, year and a half old deer to 5, 6, 7-year-old 8 points that score 130, 140. And I mean it is what it is. Every once in a while we'll get lucky and have a a really big deer that's more than an 8 point, but I don't know. I mean I've been a lot of places in a lot of states, and there's plenty of days I'd have just been, if a 130-inch 8 point walks out today, I'm going to kill him just because I'm having that good of a time here.
And speaking of that, I've been chasing the same buck on my 50 acres for 3 seasons now, probably going on four, to be honest. It's kind of embarrassing, but he will not daylight. And
Hmm.
it's because it's an HOA piece of land. It's not in the middle of nowhere connected to a bunch of other land. It is smack dab in the middle of a neighborhood.
Hmm.
And so for those of you that watch my channel, it's part of the reason why I haven't killed him yet is because he will not daylight. He never
He knows
has.
he can go live in Martha's flower bed during deer season.
I don't know what he does because I'm pretty sure he doesn't bet on my property. All I know is that he's pretty loyal to that feeder right there.
So,
And so there have been times during the second rut or right after the peak of the rut where I have sat over the feeder and that's going to give me so much crap, but it's fine. And
I
he
do it.
won't even do that because
Mhm.
he knows that there are houses on all four sides and he can just, take a little after midnight cruise
Yeah.
and eat.
And that's what a lot of the older smart do. They figured it out by the time they get 5, 6 years older or older. Where all right, during hunting season, I can go stay right here and nobody's gonna mess with me because nobody hunts there, or just, and it doesn't take much land. Like it literally could be just 5 acres, and that joker will go in there and stay there. Because we've hunted some deer on our properties before that they would stay in the same core area. Like I mean, it literally may be a 10 acre spot their whole life, and we either kill them or we don't, just because of whatever happens to them. They go downhill or get busted up, and we try to give them one more year, and then they die of old age or whatever. But um, it's crazy how they know what they're doing better than we do. That's for sure.
He's got me figured out because I'll get pictures and videos of him at 4:45, 5 in the morning. The time that I'm getting ready to go out
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
and he just I can't say too much because I'll give away people know my land, but
Hmm.
he'll come to this specific camera and he'll just look around like this is where she's normally at. She's not there yet, and then I get so excited. I'm like, okay, that's the stand that I'm going to go to.
Hmm.
I've never seen him. He's a cool
Hmm.
looking deer too. He's real narrow, but he's
Hmm.
super tall. I
Hmm.
call him Dagger. I
Gotcha.
hope I get him this year because I just cannot talk about him every single year like this. It's just getting pitiful.
How old do you think he is now?
I would say he's at least, I want to say 4.5, 5. So
Okay.
that's a big Alabama deer for me.
Yeah.
But I've had other people tell me that he's at least 5.5.
Okay. Yeah. I
I'm not
mean,
the best judge of age, but he is an absolute tank before he drops weight, which really, I guess he only drops weight in the summer. During the rut, he is a giant
yeah.
body size.
Gotcha. Gotcha. He's filled out and ready.
Oh, yeah. Swole neck. He's a
It's
good
fun.
one.
It's funny you talking about not good at judging age. Like it, and all different deer are different body types. I mean, some are short and fat, some are tall and look like Clydesdales. I mean, they're just all over the place. But a buddy of mine the other day, he said, hey, we've got this one deer, we hunt together on our land, and he sent me a picture. He said this is a buck, and he's a guy that he names all of them, and I'm fine with all that. But I've had horrible luck with that. If ever I pick one out or two, three, whatever, and oh, this is so and so and that so and so, they either all disappear or they all die from like neighbors shoot them or something. So I just quit naming them. And I'm like, yeah, that's that deer. That's that deer. That's that deer that comes with that feeder. I don't have a name. So I just go hunt them. but
You got
he
me
started.
thinking about that now because I name every single buck, and come to think of it, now I'm kind of like, wait a minute. Whatever happened to I gotta go back to my app because I have folders for every
Uh-huh.
deer that I've named. It's probably
Yeah.
taking it too far, but
Well, no, I mean, and that's like my buddy. We've got deer growing out now, which mean our bucks are pretty far along for, it's almost August. And we're starting to see the shapes, and some are finishing out really good, and some are still rounded on the ends and all this. But he knows all of them. He's like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so, that's so and so, and I'm like, okay, bro. I call that one hamburger and that one backstrap and that one sausage. And if they all walk out in front of me, I'm gonna fill some tags. And
yeah.
that's that. But I love how people get excited about it, and they have the hit list and the names and all that. And I'm one of them. I use my trail cameras this time of the year because we can feed in Georgia, of course, and we got feeders out and all this stuff. Want to keep track of the hogs, and we've got too many of them to talk about. But I can also see when my feeders run out, and then I do take an inventory. Like, okay, well, there's a bachelor group here. They got 5 or 6 bucks in there, and okay, this one 2 or 3 may be old enough. Blah blah blah. But once deer season gets here, I just go sit. I don't hunt those cameras at all. I just go and say, okay, I know in the summer he was here, and since the summer, and they change their patterns so much after the
Oh,
velvet
yeah.
comes off. He's been here, he's been here, he's been here. And then I kind of say, okay, well, I'm going to get in the middle of those spots. If I can find a good spot to get where I can see, and he's going to make a mistake at some point in time because I'm like, if he's got three, triangle points, I'm going to get in the middle if I can. And he's going to come by there sooner or later. And it's just a chess match then. But guess what? If a different one comes by that's big enough or old enough in the meantime, I don't care. The other one gets to live.
That's kind of how I feel. I feel like this old dagger, he runs circles around me. Like I said, I've seen him in the mornings, but then I started seeing him. Well, as far as daylighting, I've never seen him daylight in person, but I have seen him daylight on camera before. But it would be just probably 5 to 10 minutes after the time that I'd be able to see him from my stand.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I can't get them figured out now. And I know they're smart.
Yeah.
As much as they're stupid, they're smart.
Yeah.
But I think that I made the mistake of getting too close to his bedding area early
Mhm.
on. Like as soon as he started daylighting, I was in that particular
Okay.
stand, and the one that's near it too.
Hmm.
And so that's probably the mistake that I made this year or last season, was that I was just getting too close, essentially probably pushing him out. But it's a learning curve for me. If I'm on the other side of the property, knowing that he's daylighting on the stand closest to his bedding area, or where I think his bedding area is, that's a risk that I'm taking. But I'm probably gonna have to do something different this year because I
Hmm.
haven't moved stands, and I'm trying to kind of learn his path. And I'm still stumped, but I definitely don't want to push him over to the neighbor side because I think he's already over there anyways.
Yeah. Don't want to make him stay there.
Well, this is 4 seasons now where he
Mhm.
he knows where to eat, but he don't seem to be looking for the ladies during the day, during the rut.
I mean, I don't
So
know. I don't know what the population's like over there. Maybe he's got a lot of ladies to choose from. He don't have to leave the bar.
I'll be honest, he's got a lot of ladies to choose from, and
Mhm.
that's because I mean, I bounce back and forth between two different properties, and I haven't
Mhm.
done a lot of doe patrol on this other one,
Mhm.
but they're also very skittish because of all those houses around. So it's not been easy. And then, of course, if I know that a buck is daylighting, I could care less about a doe, just to be honest.
Yeah.
Usually, by the time the bucks are daylighting, the does have already been killed for meat, and it's time to buck hunt.
Okay.
But
And that's one thing I was going to ask you because I have this conversation with a lot of female hunters that I run across, or friends and family and stuff. And you've already answered my question, but like a lot of females, they don't want to shoot a doe. Have you noticed that? Have you seen that with ladies?
um, with me personally, I struggled with the first few when I first started hunting.
Hmm.
And then I kind of didn't care. I would shoot the does for my freezer.
Hmm.
And now I'm getting back into that. Maybe do I call it sensitive? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're precious, and I don't
Mhm.
know. Yeah, sometimes it can be hard, but at the same
No.
time, I'm providing for myself, and I'm not gonna shoot something with antlers just because I need to fill my freezer.
Hmm.
And does are wildly overpopulated, especially on my property, so I
Hmm.
will do it.
Yeah.
Um, but it is a different feeling when a doe dies versus a buck. I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I get that. And even me as a guy, I mean, I mean, I've shot plenty of does, don't get me wrong, but I also, well, there's two phases to that. Cause like one, I was hunting in a place and, they basically said, "Hey, we need to shoot some does." So I just went jihad over there just with my rifle, and it was just I was shooting at 400 yards, 300 yards. If I saw a doe, we're just gonna, how many do you want to shoot? Okay, I'm gonna do it for you. And so I did that. But then, like on my property, I'm really picky because it's like I don't want to shoot too many, but then I don't want to. I don't want to pressure my herd by shooting a lot of does, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people make a mistake because I've been in there like years ago. My grandfather was one that he's like, you can shoot every doe out there and it's not going to hurt anything. And I'm like, wait a second, Pop, like we can't shoot every doe because, uh, you know, we're not going to have any deer left. And we shot way too many deer overall. And it got to where we would hunt. And I mean, literally one year I shot I could get 2 buck tags in Georgia. I shot a spike and a 4 point because that's the only 2 bucks I saw, and we couldn't hardly see a doe. And I'm like, all right, guys, we gotta punt on this thing and back it up. And so we changed our rules and got better. And then we saw the turnaround in just a couple of years, But that just shows you how fast they can come back. But myself, if I'm going to shoot one, and again, haters gonna hate, but we hunt over feeders here in Georgia and food plots. But when that feeder goes off, I, I've got does that like they're standing there waiting on the feeder to go off, or if the feeder goes off, they come running out of the woods and get up there and eat. I won't shoot them. Like I call them, those are my training wheels. Like every fawn that they have, they're gonna teach them how to do that, and so they all get to live. But the one that walks out there at 100, 150 yards, especially if I got my rifle, of course, and they want to be sideways with me. They want to look up at that stand. They want to stomp. They want to blow. No, that ain't happening.
I'm pretty sure I killed two last season that were blowing at me.
Yeah, that's
And
validated.
that was not the plan for the day, but I was after, a good buck and
Hmm.
she kept blowing at me. And it's in one of my videos. She blew at me 20 times. I think I had to edit it down to like seven.
Wow.
I wanted the viewers to see
Hmm.
that's why I went for that. Because, people are always going to say, like, why are you killing a doe just because it blows? But in
That's why.
reality,
That's valid.
that's literally the reason. No, I mean, yeah,
What 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 people don't realize is that doe, once she pegs you, it's almost, especially an older doe, it's almost like she remembers your tree stand or your spot
she
and
will
every.
circle you. That's the thing. She will
Hmm.
circle you and she will stand there. And if you've got a feeder, they're protective over that feeder because
Hmm.
they're eating there all summer and all fall and winter too,
Hmm.
other than the rut. And so I've had them where they will circle my stand, they pick me out, and then they get in front so they can look at the feeder, and then they will stand there and stomp and stomp and stomp as if I'm just going to walk away. They can't
Hmm.
figure out where I'm at, but that's how a
Hmm.
lot of them,
Yeah.
get to
Hey,
ending up in that freezer. So
she blows, she goes. I mean, that's just the way it is.
that's the way
So,
it
um, so
is.
shifting gears a little bit. I want. I know we talked about this before we got started recording, but um, again, following each other on social media stuff. One of them is Snapchat, and like I told you, like it's almost like you've got and you like I said, you've gotten better, but you almost got like a little bit of an alter ego on Snapchat. Like you can
You
tell.
think it's an alter ego?
Well, I don't. Well, I say that tongue in cheek, like okay, because I can
That
tell.
might be me. I mean,
But at the same time, I can tell you, like, I can tell you're a nice person. Like we've talked enough. Like you give off positive vibes, and and have smart, and you know what you're doing out there. But it's almost like you can tell when people push your buttons, and you just don't put up with it. Like like you'll get their comment, and you'll screenshot it, and you have this little look on your face. You're like, what the hell? And
I am learning the professional way to say, you probably didn't need to comment that. And so that's a learning curve for me as well. But yeah, Snapchat is the place where you get to see me completely unfiltered with just hunting talk, my
Mhm,
trips, all of that kind of stuff. And I try to reply to as many people as I can because it's kind of cool to actually read all the replies
mhm.
and just talk about stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a different world than Instagram.
Well, it's almost like with Snapchat, you're like super accessible that way because people can reply to everything. I guess. I mean, I haven't gone through all the settings and know what you can turn on and off, but I mean, I'll post stuff and I'll just get so many comments on a lot of these. I guess I'll post some crazy videos, but it's like All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't have time to read all of them, and I try to reply back, but literally I don't have time. Like we have a million things going on and 100 social media platforms that we're trying to manage, and
Yeah.
but it's comical to me to like, especially in your world. I mean, obviously being a female out there, um, that how many guys that try to tell you what you're doing wrong. Like I'll see some of those things, I'm like, oh, that here we go. She somebody did it again.
I guarantee you, if I shot a compound bow, my following would probably triple. But just based off the crossbow thing, I think that people see that and they're immediately probably clicking off. And you know what? That's fine. Don't watch me then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
I think next time you go hunting, like get on Snapchat and you just post you just pulling corn out of your pocket and just throwing it out there, and
And that's the thing. I don't even hunt over a feeder half of the season.
hmm
It's really just the times that I do that I'm usually always filming. I mean, I'm supposed to be filming all my hunts anyways,
hmm
but I do a lot of my sitting over bait at the beginning of the season because they're still patterned from summer.
hmm
I know they're coming to the feeder two, three times a day, even depending on the weather.
right.
I get my 2 to 3 does, whatever I need for the rest of the year because I'm really not eating 5 pounds a week. And that's it. And then once everything changes, which for Bama is going to be mid-November, nothing happens until my part of the state is January for the rut.
hmm Okay.
And then that's when I'm going to whatever stand that I feel is best for the wind direction and for what I'm seeing on my cameras. And then after the rut, I go back to the feeder again. So it just kind of depends. Um, but I'm sure that people are talking about crossbows in the same category as hunting over bait.
Oh yeah.
And it just depends on where I'm at and what time of the season it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've shot a bunch of big deer with their facing under and they're standing under a feeder or facing a corn pile. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it because
People
that
say the weirdest things. I literally heard one dude say, don't shoot a deer when their head is down. Like that's not right. You need to shoot a deer with their head is up. Like,
yeah.
okay, do they need to be chewing or not chewing? Like,
Yeah, like is equal pressure on all four legs, or does the left front leg have to have like 5 pounds less pressure? I mean, people come up with the dumbest crap.
do they need to be broadside or can they be quartering away or quartering two?
Well, if you watch some of our bow videos where we shoot those quartering shots and we tuck it in behind that rib, oh, that's a gut shot. Never gonna find that deer.
I
You
was
know.
just about to say, I've had several gut shots, or they'll get 200 yards away because it was too far back because I took a quartering away shot. So it just takes slowing down. But hey, it takes a lot for some of those does just to come to the feeder because it is kind of I mean, they're pressured. That's what it is.
Right.
But I'm kind of like you, where the same 11 does come to the feeder every day. I'm
Mhm.
not as interested as I am in the one that is so skittish. She's afraid to even take one step into the area where the feeder is, which is basically like a little food plot.
Yeah.
And once she makes it to that feeder, it's over.
Well, to me, it's like, okay, Becky just walked out down there, and last 4 times I've been here, she showed out. So guess what? She gets to go to the processor today. No,
The
sorry about
process.
your luck, Becky. You should stay at the house. But that's just the way it is.
What's
Um,
your doe limit out there?
in Georgia, we shoot 10,
10 per
10,
season.
10 does per season and $2.
We are 2 does a day for the entire season, which is
Oh
five
my
months.
gosh, that's
Let's
insane.
do the math on that. That's
Season
two
starts
times 5 months, 30 days a month. So 30
five
times
months.
times, yeah, from October to February.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's got to be 100 does.
It's more. It's more than it's almost. It's probably well, if it was 5 months, that'd be 150 days times two. That's 300. So I'd say at least 200.
Which tells you we are severely overpopulated with does.
It sounds like they just need to let you. I don't even know what they need to do, to be honest with you. Like people need to start shooting more. I guess that's just all there is to it.
I've got way too many. I'm trying to. I mean,
Huh.
I can't. I can't kill them all, but
That's
I try to get
crazy.
my friends to come out and help me with doe patrol because it's
Yeah.
just getting ridiculous, and that's probably why I'm having trouble during the rut. Undoubtedly, why I'm having trouble during the rut. but I'm the only one maintaining what we got going on over here. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, Dagger's just sitting back over there in the bushes going, yeah, get that girl out of the way. I don't even like her. Like, yeah.
He is straight chilling. I've got videos and pictures of him since 2023. At
Yeah.
this rate, he's going to start degrading, you
Yeah.
know? Every
Yeah.
year I look at him and I'm like, okay, I think he's a little bit bigger, but I worry that it's going to get to a point where he gets smaller.
Yeah, we have deer that and I've got we for Georgia it was just crazy. We find a lot of sheds on our property just because like our feeding areas and food plots. But I've got deer that literally from 4 to 5 or from 4 to 6 they go downhill. And a lot of people biologists will tell you, oh, you know, got to be 7, 8 years old or whatever. But like literally we see deer. We'll see some deer peak at 4, some peak at 5, some peak at 6. It just depends. I mean, there's so many variables there. It's just like people. I mean, you know, Billy Bob over here, he might have peaked in high school. You know, George over here, he peaked at 25 or 30. You
Most
know,
of the people hating on crossbows definitely peaked
yeah,
in, you
they
know?
definitely peaked in high school. Probably
So
actually middle school. I was going to say they probably didn't. That's what they're doing right now. They're looking at
sad.
their high school album right now, just reliving the glory days while we're making ours.
They're looking at their yearbook, looking at all the signatures. Like, I really did get the most signatures out of everybody.
I was voted most likely not to shoot a crossbow.
Yeah, exactly. And now I have to learn with it, or now I have to live with it and hate crossbows.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
I'm very
Oh.
loyal to my Raven right now. It kills deer.
Mhm.
Most of the time I find them. I
Uh-huh.
don't think that a crossbow means that you're not going to find your deer any more than using compound. I think
Uh-huh.
that's another myth out there is that I don't know if it's people talking about the distance that deer are getting away because people are shooting at 100 yards. I don't believe anybody is shooting at 100 yards with the crossbow.
I know one guy that I hunt with, and actually, well, we went hunting with him one year, and I left a crossbow up there because long story short, my dad went up there with me, and they had a house fire, and he burned his hands, so he couldn't shoot his regular bow. So we got him a crossbow shipped up there, and he hunted with it. And when we left, we're like, hey, just keep it up here. If we ever need a crossbow, it'd be up here at your camp. And he tells me every year, he's like, yeah, I go out there and I shoot some does with the crossbow just because that's how I want to do it. And he said he shot one at 100 yards with it. Like he's
Oh,
that guy.
so
He,
you know
he,
somebody
he
who says,
yeah,
wow.
he was that guy. He went out there and he said, "Well, I just want to see what it would do." And he said that it was a yearling doe. He said, "You stand out there 100 yards." I said, "Okay." Doom. He said, "Foop." Deer didn't go nowhere and piled up. And I was like, "You the man."
I
I
can't see that far. I'll be honest, I can't see that
yeah.
far. I'm never going to do that. And I don't know what time of day that was, but at least the scope on the bow that I have is definitely not getting that close. There's no zoom, by the way, for anyone that thinks that there's a zoom on a crossbow. There isn't.
Not on yours. Like you can get them. I
Oh,
think like
can you?
yeah,
Because
you
I've
can.
not seen any
Yeah,
zooms anywhere, even
yeah,
with the brand new stuff.
yeah. I've got
Who
one.
makes a zoom
Hawk.
for a crossbow?
Yeah, I've got one.
Hawk. I've been to PMs before. What's going on? Kidding. I don't want to make life easier.
Yeah.
I think that the crossbow already people see it as a tool that makes life easier, and it does for people that are,
Hmm.
actually disabled. But I started with the crossbow, and I'm still using it. I would love at some point in my life to learn a compound bow, but today's not that day.
Not
Okay,
today. Not today.
not today. And I'm not going to change my mind because somebody wants to sponsor me from a compound company or whatever. There's nothing that will make me switch just because the internet wants me to.
Right.
I don't care how hot people think it would look if I was shooting a compound. It's not about that. And as
Yeah.
long as deer are still dying in my vicinity, I will use whatever I want to.
I'm good with that. 100%. I mean, I went the other way. Like, so I went from, I shot a few deer to crossbow, like we talked about. I shot positive with compound bow, and then I just got into long range shooting. It's like we work with McQuarter rifles, and they make some like 1,000 yard guns. And I went to their shooting school for a couple of years now, and so I've learned to shoot 1,000 yards. And when you shoot a rifle at 1,000, and we started out hitting like a 5 by 5 inch plate at 1,000, and we hit a 2.5 by 2.5, and then last year we shot golf balls at 1,000 yards, which was the dumbest thing I've ever tried to do because it was almost impossible to do that. We finally did it, but when you shoot something like that, now I want to go. Okay, I want to get out here in the woods and I want to see how far I can shoot a deer now. And so, I think my farthest one is just under 500 so far. So,
So that's crazy. I've never shot anything that far. My farthest shot was 200 yards, so
mhm.
basically nothing
it,
like that.
it's
But
like a drug. It is. It's like a drug.
well, so we're going, this is during archery season, but we're going to Nebraska for mule deer and pronghorn
Uh-huh.
and doing the whole spot and stalk thing, which I had always thought that my first muley hunt would be with a rifle, but obviously that's not the way it worked out with tags. I'm just
Mhm.
kind of curious about the long distance shooting thing too, because I
Yeah.
kind of feel like I want to be super close when I hunt those animals too. I obviously don't want to spook them,
Yeah.
but I am
It,
curious about it.
it's tough out there. And it depends on what your terrain's like. Because I've hunted Nebraska a pretty good bit for whitetail and turkeys. I've never hunted mule deer or antelope out there, but I've hunted antelope in Colorado, Wyoming. I've hunted mule deer in Colorado, Texas, North Texas, and it's there's a lot of nothing or there's a lot of something. So it's if it's a lot of nothing, um, that's a super challenging hunt. Like the first time I ever bow hunted, and I was using compound bow, antelope in Colorado. The whole strategy is it's hot. Let's sit on water holes in a blind, right? Um, that's a horrible, horrible hunt. It's hot. You see some animals at some times. You sit hours and hours and hours. Me and my camera guy both like decided we were clinically insane after going on that hunt. But the problem we had is it rained about 4 inches the night before we went out for our hunt, and so there's water everywhere. So they don't have to come to that water hole now. But the
Oh, they're
guy was
drinking puddles.
yeah. So that I mean, there's like literally there's standing puddles here and there and whatever. And an antelope can like a deer, they can drink. And the only advantage you got out there then it's usually the rut. So they're running and they're really hot and the temperature's hot, so they go drink and then they go back chasing does. So it's kind of all over the place. But we did some spot and stalk out there, and it's really cool because they come to decoys pretty cool out there. And so
We
you're
are
like
going to be bringing a decoy, so
it's
they
it's
do
it's
like that.
really cool, and they're real curious too. So like our guy would even get like a white handkerchief on a stick, like we're walking behind this antelope decoy, and he just waved this handkerchief, and these stupid things would just start coming from 200 or 300 yards and start walking straight to us. But it seems like about 80 yards is where they all go. I'm gonna hang right here, you know,
I
and
think you're
then
right about that because when we went to Wyoming, every time we took the specific roads to go into wherever we were going, pronghorn everywhere.
yeah,
But once it was just inside 100 yards, they would stand there and they would stare. And they
mhm,
didn't really seem that pressured. Obviously, we couldn't hunt them. We were
yeah.
just watching them. But I couldn't figure out if they were just used to seeing so many people or if they're just kind of dumb, which I'd heard that they were dumb anyways, but
They're dumb till they don't want to be dumb. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like
dumb because I know you're hunting them.
and hopefully you go out there and one just walks right on in there and you just drill him and have a good time. But at the same time, for me and everybody that goes out west hunting elk, mule deer, antelope, I always tell them like, especially if you're going to bow hunt, be ready for a longer shot than what you're used to for deer for sure for whitetail because it's just they may not play that game. They may hang up out there. I mean we I think the closest we got one on that trip was 50, and my dad he missed. He shot. He had to shoot over a strand of barbed wire or under it to hit the antelope, and he picked over, and the antelope ducked, and he shot over him. So yeah,
Sounds like my luck.
yeah. At least he didn't hit
Well,
the
it's
fence.
three
So
of us going. We've got six tags.
okay,
We all have pronghorn and we all have mule deer.
nice.
So I don't know how the schedule is going to go. I don't know what we're going to do, but
Hmm.
I'm definitely after mule deer first. But at the same time, if pronghorn walks by,
Hey,
which I
got a
feel like is
tag.
unlikely to happen, I don't want to jinx myself, but
Never know. Never know.
it's going to be a fun hunt. There's
Hope
going to be a
so.
lot going on.
Yeah, I love hunting out west. This is like I just love the terrain, the country, and like the mule deer hunt I do every year in North Texas. We're hunting the canyons. So I mean, I feel like Chris Kyle and stuff up there with my sniper perch with my rifle up, watching this draw or this drain. And you can hunt over feeders out there, and there's feeders there, but we try to hunt them. They're coming to the feeders, but we're trying to get them before they get to them. Sometimes it don't work, but you can see so far, and we're just sitting up there dialing up your scope and going, okay, say when.
Yeah.
So
Out
yeah.
west is a different world. I say I learned to appreciate it, but I had never seen it before. And just being out there, I felt like I was in a movie. I felt like I was in a
Mhm.
dream. It is not Alabama.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah, way less trees, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, I'm in central Alabama, so we still
Okay.
have a lot of trees,
Yeah.
but Wyoming was just an absolute dream. So
Yeah.
now I want to see the rest of the western states. This will be my second time coming back to Nebraska, but I love South Dakota too. That was so pretty.
Yeah. I've turkey hunted out there several times, and it's like um nothing, and then it's amazing.
Yeah. They
So,
gobbled. I
oh,
mean,
they love to gobble. They love I didn't go this past spring. I usually do South Dakota every other year just because of schedule, but I went year before 2025 spring, and the first turkey gobble I heard was at 4:20 in the morning.
I love that.
And I was just like, well, one, we had to get up at, I think we literally got up at 2 o'clock, and we had to drive almost 2 hours. And then we went and set up. And, I'm sitting here, and I'm like, well, that's the first for me. I heard one go at 4:20 in the morning. And I'm sitting there just like, this is ignorant. This is just, I'm dead tired because, we go to bed at 11 and get up at 2. I'm like, this is ignorant. And,
Guess you're not
yeah,
up early
yeah, it
enough.
was definitely. And
You
then,
better just stay up all night long because
oh man, I would be useless. Like I can stay up for a while, but I'm just like, just my brain goes to a sponge after after a
we
while.
met a bunch of campers when we were in Wyoming on public, and the guys were saying the same thing. They were like, we can hear them within 100 yards outside of the camper. And I'm like, dang, we're in the wrong spot. And I did hear them gobble a lot in Wyoming, but
Yeah.
fortunately I didn't get one, but
Hmm.
it was so fun. It made me want to hunt public so much more.
Yeah. I've 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 done some public. One of the best states that I've found for public is Kansas, though. Like they've got all that walk-in property, and you can pull it up and see all these little parcels here and there, and you can literally be driving along and go, "Oh, there's turkeys in that field. Let me pull it up. Oh, that's walk-in land. Let's go kill him." That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. We
Yeah.
killed a few that way.
Where you plan on going next season
Um, I mean, this fall or turkey season.
for turkey? Well, I guess for either. I was
Uh,
thinking turkeys, but
um, well, this fall, right now, I know Texas, Wisconsin, Kentucky, and then of course here in Georgia, and I'm trying to see where else I might fill in there. That's usually keeping me pretty busy there. Um, then the spring, definitely I start in Florida, and then Florida and Georgia usually are back to back, and then I go to last year I went to Kansas. I drew a tag there, went there, but then I probably won't draw this year because I drew last year. But then I go to Texas
oh,
and then Kentucky.
Kansas I drew 2 years in a row. So
Turkey,
yeah.
nice, nice. I hadn't,
Yeah.
I hadn't. The last time I turkey hunted I don't even know who Candace is. Kansas, and
Candace, are you listening?
Candace, you're out there somewhere, whoever you are. Um, that was a bad night. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
The,
Lord.
the last time I hunted Kansas for turkeys is when you could they went from 2 tags to one. You could still buy them over the counter. But I even hunted it back when you could just go over the counter and get two, and just, I mean, there were turkeys everywhere. And then they had that, I guess, big die off, and now they're starting to come back pretty good. And finally drew. It took me 2 years, but I drew this year and went out there. And I mean, me and my camera guy Jordan, we both had tags, and I think we sat down on the ground at about, it was a little before 6 o'clock. I think at 6:25 we were both done. So
Love it.
it's quick.
I love when it happens like that.
Yeah.
I like
We
to
got.
play the game some, but at the
Mhm.
same time, when they just follow the script,
Mhm.
just cheese a little bit more.
I love it. I can't say everybody, I love it when they do the thing. They just do the thing, and it works out. And I was getting mad at them, like they flew down, and it was so dark. The first bird was on the ground, and he's gobbling his head off. I hadn't even started calling yet. Um, and Jordan's got the camera, and he's on the corner of a field, kind of 40, 50 yards from the wood line, just raising hell. And he's got the camera turned around there, and he's like, dude, if he comes, you cannot kill him yet. I can't even see him. Like he's gobbling in the dark almost. And it was ignorant after that. I mean, there was like seven gobblers come down, and And then actually that one that he couldn't film good to start with was one that finally broke off and came over there to decoy, and I killed him. And then when I don't know if you've ever done it, where you shoot one and he starts flopping around, and then everybody, all the boys left in the field, come over there to jump on each other and beat him up. That's what happened. So it got Western real quick. Jordan killed his. So
That sounds like Michigan, where like 8 of them will come out. Oh, I shouldn't have said that because now people might go to Michigan. Edit that out. But
nobody hunt Michigan ever.
yeah, there's no birds there. I
Yeah.
said that in the video too. But yeah. Um, the only state that I have planned for turkeys next year that I know of right now is Oklahoma. Well, I go to Michigan every year because I'm from there. So
Okay.
Oklahoma, Michigan, Kentucky, I'll try and hit every year, and Alabama. And I know that I need to be here for the opener of Alabama too, because I was actually in Florida, I think the next day this year, and the best 2 weeks in Alabama is going to be the very first
Yeah.
two. And I think they're talking about opening the season a little bit earlier than it has been in previous years. I think it was earlier and then they pushed it back
Mhm.
or pushed it forward and then they're moving it back. So
Got
I
it.
don't really know, but all I know in Alabama that they stopped gobbling after a couple of weeks. And I
Yeah.
know people are going to hear me say this and probably laugh about that too, but in my humble experiences, they don't talk.
And,
You get better at calling.
yeah, and all the turkeys are different. I mean, and in Georgia, it's similar that way because Georgia a few years ago they decided that they were going to start the season a week later. Then they changed our limit from 3 to 2, and in the past you could shoot all of your turkeys in one shot, like be done. But then they made it where you can only shoot one per day. So
Yeah,
they kind of hosed us because literally there'd been I don't know how many seasons. Usually the first week of that before they moved it, that first week, I would go turkey hunting. I would kill my turkeys the first week and just be done. Then I can go hunt other states. Or my biggest thing is when it gets like stupid hot like it does down here.
yeah,
I don't want to turkey hunt when it's 1,000 degrees. They don't gobble good. They just want to sit in the shade and stay cool. And it's
that's
like they
right.
don't
That's
want.
how they are in the South. That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're heat wave turkeys.
And then they're completely different out west. Well, of course, the weather is different because we
Right.
were out there in May and it was probably 35 in the mornings. I was loving it. I was
Yeah.
wearing a thermal shirt and a hoodie over it. And even in the middle of the day, the high would be like 60
Yeah. It's
and I could
all.
breathe. Right
Yeah.
now, I go outside and I'm pretty much dead.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
another reason I love being out there is I actually feel like I can take a deep breath. And then I mean, obviously climbing mountains is a little bit hard for me
Yeah.
because I need to get in better shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that in Alabama, the limit used to be 5 right before I started turkey hunting.
Hmm.
And then now it's down to 4. But I believe our limit should be 2.
Okay.
I just think that's a lot of turkeys.
Yeah.
4 to 5 turkeys is insane if you think about how many turkey hunters we have and how many out of state residents are coming over.
Yeah. But I will say, like Alabama, that has taught me some turkey lessons. They've been tough. Sorry about to sneeze. I'm allergic to podcasts now, I guess. But it
Yeah, I would love to kill my first Alabama turkey, but I know that it's not going to come easy.
yeah. That's the thing, like that people don't realize, especially you being. I'll call you a new hunter, but you're not relatively new. Like like I said, you've earned your
A little
stripes
bit of
already.
seasoning.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. You
seasoned, but also new. Like I don't use a mouth call yet, but I'm pretty good with the pot call and I can rip that box call.
yeah.
I'm gonna have calls coming out on my website too.
Nice. Plug it. Shameless plug. Let's go.
I mean, I didn't wear the gobbler grind hat for nothing. I knew we were gonna be talking turkey.
Exactly. Exactly. But I will say this about turkey hunting: the more you go, the more you learn, and it's almost like some, especially guys, because I started turkey hunting when I was, golly, I don't even remember. I've been turkey hunting 20 something years, and I started young, and but I made a bunch of mistakes. Like I don't know how many just stupid things, like calling when I wasn't supposed to, moving when I wasn't supposed to, just doing all those things. And I was turkey hunting with some guys in Texas this year, and I was on his property, and he's like, "Man, just come on, let's go. We'll just shoot some turkeys." And sure enough, I mean, I killed 3 the first morning, and that was just it was insane. But I worked those birds for hours. And he sat there after we got done. He said, "Dude, I learned a lot listening to you." I said, "Well, one, I grew up cutting my teeth on these stupid Georgia birds. That you got to earn every one of those. But two, I you develop a skill set whether you know it or not. Just things that you put in your deck of cards there to go. Okay, this is the time of the day it is. This is what that turkey's doing. This is what I need to do." And when it's not that you ever figure them all out because they don't always work, but the more you do, the more at the end of the day you go, yep, that's what I thought was going to happen because this stupid turkey 10 years ago did this to me and pissed me off really bad. But guess what? I got his ancient descendant here because of him teaching me that.
Yeah, I'm still new to calling. I'm kind of learning when they hear your call and you know that they hear you, it's that quiet period.
Yeah.
That's not easy for me because in my head, one side of me is like, well, he's probably coming in. I just need to stop everything.
Hmm.
But then I hear him again and he sounds like he's at the same distance that he was.
Hmm.
So then I start calling again. But then I learn, you overcall and they're just going to hang up. There's no reason for them to come towards you if they know that you're still there.
And,
So,
and that's and you're right on with that. And that is a big time Eastern turkey thing from my experience, especially from where we're at down here. But I will say I've hunted places like let's say Texas where they got just tons of Rios. And if you stop calling to those Rios, sometimes they just lose interest. Like, okay, you're hot and heavy, and now you just don't want to talk to me anymore. I'm just gonna go find somebody else that will. And and all these subspecies act different. I mean, you've killed all of them, and so like. Well, that Eastern was a little bit different than that Osceola was different than the Rio was different than the Merriams. And they all, like, I would say the Merriams and the Rio are the two easiest by far. And it all subjective depending on where you're at. But,
what
um,
time of year you're hunting each species too.
what's that?
It depends on what time of the year you're hunting them
Yeah.
too. Because
Yes.
Easterns in the beginning, piece of cake. Easterns at the end of the season, you might as well just hang it up for the rest of the season. Miriam's, that was my first time hunting Miriam's.
Hmm.
It was hard. It was very, very hard.
Okay.
Farm that we hunted.
Hmm.
And then the Rios, I'm just gonna speak on Texas because I've hunted Texas twice.
Hmm.
I'll probably never kill a turkey in Texas. At this point, I'm kind of done with Texas. I love it, but I can't
What?
kill a turkey there.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I got a ranch you need to go to.
They're vocal. I was gonna say, I
Oh,
guess I need your plug because
yeah. They're it's so subjective. Like I mean, there's outliers on everything. I mean, I've killed a ton of turkeys in Texas, but it's also having that right piece of property too. Um, that's a lot of things that I think people. And I know we've gone down this big turkey hunting wormhole, but it's what we like to do. But I think a lot of people make the mistake too that you it's like in the winter, especially like in the fall, you have big fall flocks. So I mean, I've got pieces of property where I've had like 20 gobblers in one trail cam picture in November, in January,
I can't
whatever.
I can't speak on that. I never see fall turkeys. I
Yeah.
have a couple of times, but it I think the very first year that I bought my property, I had like 12 on camera.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I know what happened to them, but it wasn't by me. So, and we
Yeah.
don't have a fall turkey hunting season. I think
Yeah.
South Bama has maybe a couple days or something, but my part of town doesn't even have that. I would love
Mhm.
to see them to
Yeah.
kind of get inventory for spring, but
Well, but the
at the
thing
same
I,
time, if I'm
the,
trapping,
the, well, the thing that I was going to say with it is like I'll have that many gobblers in the fall or winter time, but in the spring they bust up, and you might out of that 25 there may be six or seven left on the property. you know.
okay.
And I think a lot of people have the misconception of just because I got a bunch of turkeys in the fall, I'm going to have a bunch of turkeys in the spring. And that's not true. And it's vice versa too. You may have no turkeys in the fall, and then in the spring they're all over the place. They just move and they have their spots that they want to go. And I think a lot of people in different states go like, "Oh yeah, man, I got tons of turkeys," because I've done it before, been invited to go somewhere, and you get there and like, "All right, where they at?" Well, they're usually on the back side of this field, and you go back there and there's like one gobbler on the whole place, and you're like, "Man, this guy's gonna be tough."
That's precisely how Texas went for us.
Oh, that's
The
bad.
entire time we were on birds. When I say we were on birds, we were seeing them, we were hearing them. They just didn't want to come in. And I was
Mm.
there probably 3 weeks into that zone opening, anyways.
Okay.
But um, the time that I got close to one, we were just walking around to get close to where they roost at for evening, and 20 yards, like four hammered
Mm.
with it. And we were just standing there. We weren't even sitting down or anything. And so we had to like quickly get into position. And I never got a shot off because they're hiding behind cactus. Cactus
Mm.
is tall over there, and I'm
Yeah.
already sitting down at this point. So
Yeah.
apparently, me and Texas just aren't friends when it's a turkey hunting. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I got nemesis states. I'm trying to make reckonings in most of them, but some are still out there.
I'll come back twice. If I come back to a state twice and nothing happens, as far as like I mean, not that I'm ever going to give up, but I'm going to move on to a new one and then we're going to circle back later
Yeah.
because
Or different spot anyway. Cause like Texas is so, you've got like five different like terrains in Texas. You got canyons and mountains and hill country with rocks and cedars. And then you've got, around
transfers,
Houston.
desert.
Yeah. And like around Houston, it looks like Georgia. It's got pine trees and oak bottoms. And then you go to South Texas is cactus and rattlesnakes and mesquite. And it's all different. Yeah.
And
I've hunted,
guess where I was?
and you were in rattlesnake country.
I never actually saw a rattlesnake there,
Good God.
but I had enough sand spurs to last me the rest of my life. So I'm
Mm.
good
Yeah.
on that. I ruin
That's
a pair of pants every year during turkey season. Every
yeah.
year.
I learned real quick to buy knee pads.
No, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sika actually used to make those. I don't have those anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, crawling around in Texas, I don't think I ever really did. It was more of a kneel and kind of creep because I definitely don't want to kneel. That would be brutal.
My thing in Texas, but every time we'd have a turkey gobble, I'd be like, all right, time out, look around. Everybody check these mesquite trees. All right, no rattlesnakes. All right, now back to hunting. Oh, I'm not gonna sit down there without scoping the area. There's just so many daggum snakes.
I've been pretty lucky. I don't think I've seen a snake on a turkey hunt before, but I probably
Hmm.
just jinxed
Yeah.
myself.
Opening day of turkey season. You're welcome.
It's about to happen. And it's going to be in Alabama too. Yeah.
It'll be like some place you've never seen a snake ever. Like, oh, where did this guy even come from?
And honestly, that's the reason why I like to do a lot of trapping in the winter versus the summer because I'm so focused on stepping on a snake. It's never actually happened, but I can't get past it.
Got
Alabama
it.
has a lot of snakes.
Um, well, changing gear. I know I don't even know how long we're in this podcast now. We're probably creeping up on a while.
Does it
But with
tell
that,
you? I don't
I,
know.
I don't know. It does, but it doesn't. So I just go with it. Doesn't matter. We're not on a time schedule unless you need to go. Um, but I did have a couple of things I just wanted to hit on. So, would you filming and you do all your own editing, right?
Oh yeah. Unless somebody filmed me, which actually I take that back. I have edited some of the videos other people have filmed of me too. But yeah, I'm
Okay,
doing all of the self-filming editing.
gotcha. So, and did you like? How did you learn how to do that? You just sat down one day and was like, "Hey, I'm just going to learn how to do this."
I was dating somebody that I used to film, so I
Okay.
learned just a little bit about what programs to use, although I'm not using Adobe yet.
Hmm.
I just kind of got started with CapCut and then I taught myself how to use it. CapCut is just as complicated if you pull it up on
Yep.
a desktop or a
Yeah.
computer. Like there's a lot of buttons on it still. Granted, I know that it does lag your 4K footage and all that, so I've updated my computer to be able to hold it.
Yeah.
But there's just something about editing that I'm enjoying. I like how I can build it into something. I like how sometimes the transitions kind of happen on their own from
Hmm.
one clip to the next. And I'm never going to be, getting paid to do it as far as being an editor or anything. I know I've got a lot of
Yeah.
work to do, but it gives me a lot of gratitude when I watch it back that I filmed the whole thing, edited the whole thing, and put together a story for people to see.
Well, I think then you hit the nail on the head. Like it's when you're out there doing the filming yourself, especially, you know what you have. You know what you have to work with, and you're also, you're how do I want to tell my story with this hunt? Because it's all you're in the trench right there by yourself. And granted, like we were talking about earlier before we hopped on here and hit record, that having somebody to film you is awesome because that just takes that much work off of you. You can concentrate on getting the job done, getting the hunt done, killing something, and then you've also got another set of eyes that can help you. Okay, well, this is what I got, and this is what we can do together. And like I love hunting with my guys and sitting down and going through the footage, and there's some awesome editors too, and they're so much faster than me. I mean, but that's all they've ever done, And I'm with you though. I learned on CapCut a few years ago, and I'm just like, and I sat down with my camera guys that use Premiere and Final Cut and all that, and I said, "They're like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, look at CapCut." And they look at it and go,
What is
"Crap, that's a lot like what we're using." And then I showed them some features on there, and they're like, "Dude, my Adobe won't even do that." So I mean, there's some benefits to using what I mean. Everybody thinks it's an inferior product, but it's also pretty powerful.
Well, I felt like I'm not a creative person until I started editing my videos, and learning how to use CapCut has taught me to not only learn a new skill with video editing, but also it's kind of pulled out my creative side with, well, now I can do this or now I can do that with it. And
Hmm.
again, I'm not advanced by any means, but just pulling it up and trying, I've taught myself so much about it,
Hmm.
and it's just fun.
And then the other side of it too is like when you're doing it yourself, like you tell the story like you want to, and I don't know how you are. I think we're kind of on the same page with it, but I like seeing the final product and knowing that like, man, I really that came out of my brain and that came out of my willpower and my want to, and then especially when somebody watches it and they actually enjoy it, that's like that's my gratification. I'm not out there. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we have to be on camera as and that's what we do, but at the same time, it's not about, oh, look at me. It's about, man, I hope you enjoy what I'm producing. Like I hope you enjoy the end product. And that's where my goals have always been anyway.
Yeah, I know that people are enjoying watching my low budget hunts, if you want to call it that, just with me being new and pulling out the GoPro and stuff. And yeah, I probably need to learn to get the hunts down from an hour to maybe like 8 minutes or something like that. That comes with editing. But the raw, unfiltered stuff that I'm putting out is so fun to watch back. And I've spoke on this before, but there's something about watching my natural reactions to seeing deer or getting ready to take a shot on one or already took a shot on one, my reaction when I watch them crash,
Hmm.
that is just, it's really, really cool to see. And you're not thinking about filming in that moment. You're just hunting and
Yeah.
it's on film, and that's what pushes me to keep filming, is the fact that I get to watch that back. And I would never see that. And right now I'm solo hunting a lot. I'm going to be doing a lot of hunting with friends this deer season, for the first time, but the solo hunting part has just been just as rewarding for me because I get to enjoy it, and also I'm putting the work in to tell the story.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit different when somebody else films you. You're not putting that together as much. I feel like they're kind of picking and choosing the moments, and
Right.
so that's why I like self filming and
Yeah.
editing.
Well, and I agree, and that's and a lot of times on our hunts, and I would say I have somebody film me most all the time, but I always have I'm a big fan of the DJI cameras, the small POV cam, and I'll talk to that thing, and I wake up in the morning and go, okay, here we are, day 47, and Michael still hadn't killed a deer. I want to jump off a bridge, and but people. They see you putting that behind the scenes, and you're kind of tying in the storytelling with that, and then of course I got these guys over here with $20,000 daggum camera rigs out there that get deer chewing corn in slow motion. That's just awesome to see.
I
And
wish I had that.
I mean, it's really cool. And especially, and when we turkey hunt, like, I know, gosh, we keep going back to turkey hunt, but when you get one of those gobblers coming in and my guys are sitting there with the big lens and that choker is, they're filming that with high frame rate and we can watch that in slow mo and you can just see all the feathers shaking as he's
So
running
cool.
in. Like that to me, I'm like, I don't even care if I kill this turkey. I mean, I'm going to, of course, but if I if I don't, like that's still so awesome to just be able to take that back and share that. And I mean, we post that, and other people go, "Oh my God, that is unreal!" The footage, because that to me is you're showing exactly why we do what we do right there.
Well, and it helps you appreciate the animal itself too.
Hmm.
You're watching them in person in their natural habitat, but then seeing them up close like that, I'll be honest, before I started turkey hunting, I always wondered why people turkey hunted, because I thought that the bird itself is just kind of ugly. And I was like,
Hmm.
I grew up in the city where turkeys were just in a little farm, or you would see them all the time just around the houses and stuff. And so I just always wondered about the wild turkey. But then when I started turkey hunting, I realize how beautiful they are. And they're not only majestic, but they're smart.
Yeah.
And I just learned to appreciate them through footage too. I got some really great footage in Michigan this past year. My friend actually used my camera, and watching that back and watching the shot and just everything. It was the coolest thing. I just love turning the hunt into that cinematic footage. I think that that's so cool.
Well, like you said, you show because and I know we kill stuff, but we appreciate the animal. So much just for what they are and the challenge that they present to us, and you know, there's just something about when you're sitting there, especially in November or whatever, when it's a cold morning and that buck comes walking by and you can just hear the leaves just choo, 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 coming to there, and like there's
Favorite
nothing
sound?
like it.
Oh,
It just gets you like you hear that before you see that sometimes, and like you just that adrenaline rush you get, and especially bow hunting. No matter, I don't care what kind of bow we're hunting with, but you just you get that up close, like you said, and that's why we do it. And you hear those things, and you see these things, and I mean, all the way from a buck coming in making a scrape, doing a rub, fighting. We've seen all these things and chasing a doe by. I mean, that that's why we do it, and people don't understand it. They just think, oh, you just go out there and freeze to death, and you try to kill something. You're just a murderer, and we're so far from the truth.
That's so far from the truth. And honestly, I couldn't even imagine having that mentality. And yet going to the grocery store and buying beef or whatever else
Hmm.
people are buying and then saying, yeah, I don't know. I might have some people in my family that have said to me before I couldn't kill an animal. And if they understood what all goes into it, why, and what goes into it in the summer and everything about it, I
Hmm.
believe they wouldn't feel that way. But I know that you can't change people's opinions about that. We'll never be able to. But um, yeah, it's a completely different life, but I appreciate it wholeheartedly and don't know where I would be without it at this point.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's part of us, when you've got it and it's entwined in our DNA, whether we want it to be or not. But when you figure it out and it comes out and you enjoy that, it's a whole nother level. And that's why we do what we do. And you're out there. I mean, I'm giving you props, of course, because you do it yourself. Like you don't lean on anybody else. I mean, I know you're like me. You go hunt with friends and outfitters and whatever. I mean, that's just part of having connections and wanting to do that. But you also have your own property. You do all the work yourself. There's nobody out there holding your hand. You're learning. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been hunting within 30 yards at home since I started hunting. I don't have a field or a food plot or anything like that. I've tried creating food plots with what I do have, but there's just not enough sunlight and it didn't work out. But hunting within 30 yards has taught me so much about deer hunting in general
Hmm.
because I wasn't able to just grab a gun and go take a 200-yard shot. Granted, that's happened out of state, but being home every single day on my own property, which is another thing, hunting every single day has probably shot me in the foot a couple times. But either way, when you're that close to an animal, you really get to learn their behaviors, what spooks them off, how you can do better with it. And I'm appreciative for that. Even though I'm using a crossbow, they're still getting that close. And there's nothing like the leaf crunch like of
Yeah.
their feet.
Yeah.
That's probably forever going to be my favorite thing,
Yeah.
just to be able to hear that.
Yeah. That and when that turkey comes in and commits, and I know he's in that death zone, and then he just puts on a show all the way. And I'm going to go out there, and I'm a decoy guy. I don't care. People can hate on me if they want to. I use decoys because we hunt a lot of fields, we hunt a lot of open areas.
What's wrong with
Um,
it?
but I've killed them. I've killed them with nothing. I've killed them with me, a mouth call and a shotgun, not even a turkey vest, not a seat. I just go out there and do my job and get one. But I also like sitting back and watching them do what their DNA is made to do, is come in there and put on a show. And yeah, that's
And I
that.
like when it switches up at the last second too, because on my Michigan hunt, I forgot what I said. It's on camera. But I go to say something to my friend and her husband behind me. And the second I said that, I think she was sitting over to my left. She was like, Paige, look. And he's literally just perfectly walking out on stage into the food plot. He was coming to the decoy, is what he was
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah.
But it was that, slowly sit up and get on my gun. And I'm pretty sure what I had said to her was like, I guess they shut up. I guess they're not talking. And here he comes walking down the runway.
And that's
I love
why.
that about hunting too, is that
Mhm.
you sit there and put in enough time, eventually it will happen. And like I said, they do what they do. So you never know when it's going to happen. But that's when you know that that moment was made for you. And that's another thing that I love about hunting is the fact that every harvest was curated for you and your life. I believe
Right.
that every moment was made in for your life and that it's kind of a God moment.
I agree wholeheartedly because I used to get really mad at myself. Like we talked about misses and stuff that went wrong. I used to get really mad because I felt like I messed up. I ruined the opportunity. But then I had to come to terms with it, like God just didn't want me to do that, right? Like it wasn't meant for me to shoot that turkey that
And
day
teach
or
you
that
something.
that deer. Like my time's gonna come, but he's putting this in front of me for a reason, for that me to learn from that, so I don't make that mistake again, and I'm gonna be better because of it.
Yep. I had a moment during deer season last year where instead of using my rangefinder, I decided to range with the naked eye. And I looked at the deer and I thought, okay, no more than probably 45, which I need to be taken. I've always taken shots within 30. I said that. I'm standing
Yep.
by it. But this is one of those moments where he was just outside of my normal range. And I want this deer. This is the deer that I want to shoot.
Mhm.
And so I eyeballed it. I was wrong. He got away. And I'm never going to do that again. And so um, I know it comes down to, ethical shots and being confident in your shot. And as somebody that is learning, I beat myself up for that because I was like, I can't believe that that happened to me all because I saw the deer and he didn't want to commit to coming in.
Mhm.
So I took a shot.
Yeah.
But I admit to that and it won't be happening again. Because I
Exactly.
went looking for him and at that point I didn't even know what happened. Obviously I was wrong on the yardage.
Mhm.
Um, but but yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We learn from it, and you're just gonna be better. Gonna get better and better and better. Even though it sucks so bad, and I mean you lose sleep and you're sick to your stomach sometimes, and I mean it's terrible because I mean I've done it, been there, got the bunch of t-shirts unfortunately, but
A bunch of t-shirts and hitting branches too. Now I've
yeah.
officially hit a branch on my way to killing a deer when I was out of state.
Mhm.
And then this past turkey season, same thing. And we looked at the branch and sure enough, it split over from my shot. So it's
Mhm.
definitely what happened. But I get so down about it. When I was in Illinois and I missed that buck, I was so down about it. It was literally perfect. I think it was 36 yards
Mhm.
and he was completely broadside. He wasn't walking, none of that. And I hit that little twig that was on the tree. It busted my arrow, went straight into the ground. I climbed down because I thought I had killed this deer. The guy that was filming me with I guess he was using his iPhone, he knew that I had hit that branch. But
Oh,
I
okay.
was just so in the moment that I was like, let's get down, let's make sure. And he was like, okay. Got
Yeah.
down, saw that my arrow was broke. And that was the first time I'd ever hit a branch, though. I
Mhm.
was blown away that that could happen, but it does happen. And not that
Mhm.
you can learn from that happening because sometimes, I mean,
You just don't see it. Yeah.
that, yeah, you're not going to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was absolutely heartbreaking. Would have been my biggest deer at that time.
Oh, that's it. That makes it even worse. Like I'll say this is, and I know we need to probably wrap it up here in a second, but um, quick horror story for me. I was hunting in Georgia years and years ago, and I was bad about when I'm rifle hunting. I had a bolt action Remington 700, and so whenever I would get back to the truck, I would just open the bolt and slide it open a little bit because the gun can't fire. So then I would just sit it in the seat. And so me and my buddy were hunting together, and we go riding around and whatever, and um go eat lunch, whatever, go back to go hunt that evening. And I get in the truck on the passenger side, my rifle's in there and the bolt's up. So I just close the bolt. I just go on, walk in there and I get in this ladder stand and I look over to my right and I thought it was a horse walking through the woods. This dude was so freaking big. Like I just see his body and I'm like, holy crap, that's giant. And then I see his rack and I'm like, yes, it is a giant. And he goes across this little road and he goes in this little block of pines. And I get my grunt call out. I get my rifle up, put it on the shooting rest, and I hit the grunt call. And he just comes blowing out right in the middle of this food plot. He is facing me at about 50, 60 yards. And this is a giant. Like his rack looks like a fishbowl. Like this deer gives me nightmares at night. And I have the crosshairs right at the bottom of the white patch on his throat. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, this is fixing to happen. And I squeeze the trigger and it clicks. I didn't have the gun loaded. So it clicks. And in the scope, I remember I could see this deer's eyes and his eyes just went like a cartoon. His just eyes just went three
Gotcha.
times. And I was like, oh crap. And of course, your brain goes, okay, why didn't my gun fire? And I'm thinking, oh, my bullet misfired. And so, like, I'm trying to be like super stealthy, like this deer doesn't know I'm there now after all that. And I'm chick, 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 chick,
Another
chick.
one.
And then I get in there, and right at the time I get him in the scope, I can see his rear end going in the trees. And I'm just sitting there going, huh. I wanted to throw up and throw my gun and shoot my, not literally shoot myself, but I mean, I was just like that distraught. I mean,
Oh,
since then, I've killed bigger deer than that deer since then. But at the time, like I was already like, this taxidermy bill's coming. You know what I mean? I had this deer dead to rights and then I screwed it up. But you know what I mean? That's
you
part of
learn.
it. It hurt for a long time.
Yeah.
I almost had to go to therapy over that one. That was pretty bad.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. I've definitely cried over situations just like this.
But
Waterfowl is a whole other game. I just started getting into that
mhm,
and my gun clicked. And I'm not going to speak on what gun that was because I'm no longer with them.
mhm,
But yeah, the gun click is,
mhm,
it'll ruin your day.
mhm,
100%.
mhm. Thank goodness I've never had that happen on a turkey unless I bumped the action, and that was on me. That's not on the gun, and then I worked it out. But
Why do y'all do the stogie thing where you take your shell out and people like spin it to where it's like holding open
oh,
the
it's yeah, the shell sticking out.
line?
Yeah,
Is that, do you participate in that or is that just a trend?
that's not that's just people making up stuff they need to do. I guess I'm not knocking
Trying
it.
to
I mean,
figure out what
whatever.
that's
I
for
just
or if it
the,
pays the bills. Like, what is that for?
the only time I did that is like we don't work well, we don't really work with them now, but we work with an ammo company like just for turkey season one year, and I would take pictures with the shell stuck in the action like that just so you could see it in the pictures. I mean that I
I've never
did
seen you do it. I just had to mention
yeah,
it
I just
because
did it that one time. Like my camera guy's like, "Oh, you do this," and my camera guy Jordan, like, he's a huge waterfowl guy. So maybe it's a waterfowl thing. He's like, "Yeah, do this
you
right
know what?
here."
Yeah,
So, and I'm just
you're
like, man, I don't know. I just usually just leave my action locked open so you can see it's not loaded, and I go on about my day. I don't worry about it really.
just curious about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew whoever started that trend. Y'all drop us an email. Say, hey man, I was the first one to ever stovepipe.
Oh, stovepipe. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what I called it. I don't know really what it's called.
Did I say stogie?
Stogie, it might be. I don't know. I thought we was gonna whip out a cigar after we went hunting or something. I don't know.
You won't catch me lighting a cigar to celebrate my turkey hunt, but I'm not hating
Mm.
on people that do. I just,
Well, I'm not me either. Like I don't smoke anything, but the I will say I hunted with some buddies in Missouri one time and I shot a turkey. It had to be 20 minutes after daylight. And we walked back to the truck and he's like, all right, get the Miller Lite out. Yeah. I was like, woo, it's early for that. But okay, since we did deal the turkey, let's go ahead.
time to celebrate.
Yeah. And my cameraman Jordan, who I keep talking about, he did have a bottle of Crown Royal Maple in the back of his truck after we killed a deer one time, but it was so cold we couldn't even get the bottle open. And I was like, thank God. He finally got it open. That shit was terrible.
It's been a while since I've had liquor, but especially Crown. I feel like Crown kind of puts hair on your chest.
Yeah. Yeah. It does a little bit.
Maple is kind of tempting sounding.
It's terrible. It's
Oh,
terrible. No, it's terrible. Anyway, I don't take to digress our awesome conversation going down the alcoholic wormhole over here, but here we
alcoholic
are.
wormhole. Did a lot of turkey hunting talk. Makes me
Yep.
miss turkey season.
Yeah, no, we got it. I got as long as it cools off, I don't care what season's next, to be honest with you. I'm just so over this heat. It's terrible. I don't even
I'm
want to.
dying out here. I was standing talking to the pool guy for an hour and a half, and the sweat was dripping down my back. And I really wanted to interrupt and just be like, "Hey, I'll, just that. Okay, I'll see you later."
Yeah.
I couldn't,
Yeah.
but it's so hot this year, and we're getting so much rain. And I don't have a food plot or anything that's really beneficial to that.
Yeah.
So all it's doing is pretty much just raining all over my traps. I have to go back out there, reset my
Ah,
traps.
yeah.
It's been brutal. If
Wow.
season wants to start tomorrow, I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, we've got summer plots in, they're doing great and all that, but um it's just so hot. I'm just over it. I'm ready to do something else. And yeah, I'm ready for that cold November morning. That's really what's next on my plan list right there.
I don't have any hunts planned for November. That sounds wild, but yeah, that's kind of the lull over here. So
Oh,
maybe I can pick up another state to go to.
come on, come to Georgia. We got plenty of them. November's the time.
I'll do it.
The time. Now again, I got 8 points. Don't come over here with no 10 or 12 point
I don't need no
expectations.
14 point to break the internet. I mean, I think it's cool just to be able to kill a deer that I'm proud of. That's
Uh,
that's my
I
standard.
know,
Proud
I
of
know.
it, gets my heart going.
Yeah. That's
As
my
long as I
running
can
joke
afford the
with
go ahead.
everybody. Is like, I've got 8 points. Don't just if you want to shoot 8 point, just come your guy. Just come see
I
me.
hope, I hope I never get to a point where I'm saying that 8 points is not enough.
Yeah.
To each their own, but
Mhm.
to me, if it gets you excited, please continue to do that and not worry about what other people think.
Exactly. And that's in life in general. Period. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you play baseball or ride horses or do your thing. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks ever.
Preach. I'm with you on that.
All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up just a second. We're gonna do some rapid fire questions just because I always have fun with that.
All
They're,
right.
they're pretty basic. I mean, they're all hunting related, so nothing, no surprises.
Okay.
Um, Morning or evening hunt?
Ooh. Evening.
Tree stand or ground blind?
Tree stand.
Your favorite wild game meal?
Ooh. I'm pretty bad at cooking, so that's
Anything
why it's taking
somebody
me
else
so much
cooks.
time to answer this question. um, Anything that tastes good. I don't know. Let's just go deer spaghetti.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. What's one piece of gear you never go hunting without, other
A
than a
net
weapon?
gator. I don't like my face getting chapped.
Net gator.
Yeah.
Nice. Um, Bucket list hunt.
Bucket list hunt. I've got a few. Elk, mule deer, mountain lion, and moose.
Gotcha. Well, all right. What's your number one priority? Like, if you could pick any one of them to go tomorrow, what is it?
Mule deer.
Gotcha. All right, that's on the bucket list already. So this fall, it's going to happen. We're going to put
Yep.
that out there in the universe. It's going to happen. Um, and this is not a super rapid, but what's one piece of advice you'd give to a new hunter?
To not care what other people think. Do your thing. When I first started, people told me that you should adapt your own style to what you do. Take other people's advice, but do what you're comfortable doing. And you don't have to do everything the way that everybody else does. Like if somebody tells you, oh, we don't bait in the summer, it's just pointless. You're just wasting it. It's corn.
Hmm.
You don't have to listen to them. If you want to buy that expensive protein blend and take care of your deer, go ahead and do it.
Yep.
And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I enjoy. So don't care what other people think, adapt your own style, stick with it, and be open minded to what other people are trying to teach you too at the same time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So give everybody that's listening to this thing, how can they find out more about this page and all which Paige Bauer Outdoors on YouTube?
I'm Paige Bauer Outdoors on YouTube, Miss Paige Bauer on Instagram,
Mhm.
and Facebook, just my regular name. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And y'all go to gritandgame.co, correct?
Shop some merch. I have a few more of the turkey hats and they're pretty much sold out, but we've got deer, turkey, waterfowl, and I feel like I'm missing one right now. I just went brain dead, but
Deer, turkey, waterfowl. What else is there in life?
God,
There you go.
family stuff.
Hit the nail on the head.
Yep.
All right.
Save the
It's
best
been,
for last.
that's right. No, 100%, 100%. Priorities, not in that order, but that's how we go.
God first,
Yep.
deer second. Well, the turkeys are really growing on me.
I just put it God, family, and outdoors. That's my order. That way, the outdoors is a blanket statement for whatever season's in.
I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for rambling on with me and talking about turkey hunting and crossbows and everything under the sun.
I get passionate about my crossbow talk. I'm
That's
glad
right.
that I finally got on here. This is probably the third time I've been asked to be on this podcast, and I have tried to be shy, but not today
It's all right. We'll do it again sometime.
for sure.
All right. Well, thank you again. And y'all check out all the Paige's platforms. She's awesome to follow, super entertaining. And I cannot wait to see what she comes up with next.
It'll be
All
fun.
right. Thank y'all for listening. Backwoods Life Podcast. What did I say? 127. That's a wrap.